Alien Earth Season 1 has officially reached its conclusion, and what can you say other than... Wait, that was it? Let's dig into this thing. Luckily for my brain, Alien Earth doesn't end with a particularly complex final moment. Instead, it's actually really straightforward, and that's in part because it ends on a cliffhanger. Several, in fact. The first of these cliffhangers can be traced back to the first shot of episode 8, where we see Arthur's body has washed up on shore. We get a cute little CGI crab munching on him like he's the opening kill from Jaws, and he even gets a little attention from the Xenomorph, which ambles away because it has no interest in bodies that are already dead. But that doesn't mean another alien isn't interested. Later on in the episode, Adam Hines leads Joe Hermit into an obvious trap, wherein Joe is left in Boy Kavalier's office with the loose T-Oculus, aka the weird eye octopus thing that's taken up rent in the head of a sheep. There's a brief struggle between the two as Joe fights for his life, but they are interrupted by Wendy, leading to the T-Oculus escaping through a nifty bit of floor cable management. The Oculus, which is known as the image to the show's creators, then somehow makes its way all the way to the beach, where it snuggles into its new home in Arthur's eye socket. Arthur's body is suddenly reanimated, proving that the image doesn't need a living body to do its business. This isn't too surprising given that it took over the cat aboard the Maginot, and that thing was definitely worse for wear. That said, it does beg the question of why the T-Oculus didn't take over any of the human bodies on the ship, such as Petrovich, whose fresh corpse the alien seems to have zero interest in back in episode 5. Then there's the Yutani of it all. We find out in the opening voiceover by Adam Hines that the island's communication systems are down and that Weyland-Yutani has blocked their access to satellites, meaning Prodigy's Neverland facility is completely cut off from the outside world. This comes at quite a problematic time for Boy Kavalier and his remaining employees, since they of course have a freaking Xenomorph running around killing people and a hybrid uprising to contend with as well. Really just poor timing all around.
That's a lot of damage.
What makes it even worse is that Yutani has sent a small army to the island in order to repossess the specimens that she feels rightfully belong to her. Of course, we've seen already the damage that one Xenomorph can cause when faced with well-armed soldiers, and now there's two, plus a Plume Makkari, which I'll get to in just a bit. Point being, Weyland-Yutani is very much on the way to make things complicated for the hybrids, whom I'll get to right now. The Lost Boys decide to have quite a bit of fun at the expense of the adults in the building as they proceed to haunt Neverland, with Wendy using her ability to hack computer systems in order to spy on the adults and cause havoc. They convince Siberian and her remaining teammates that their elevator is going to self-destruct and creep out Dame Sylvia by playing clips from one of Wendy's pre-transition interviews. And Wendy even unlocks Joe and Morrow's cell in order to cause an even greater disturbance. A little later, she shows off her abilities to Boy Kavalier by easily opening the hybrid cell, to which Boy attempts to show a brave face. It's here that we get a lot of backstory for Boy, whom we learn built a synth as a child, which then killed his father and took on the role of parent to Boy so that he could build his empire. This synth turns out to be Adam Hines, whom a lot of fans have speculated must be a synthetic early on in the season. Boy also reveals to the hybrids that he really doesn't view them as anything more than floor models for his big product launch, something he probably regrets saying when Nibs absolutely decimates the one guard he's brought along with him. Anyway, Boy winds up running away while the Lost Boys go about a game of hide-and-seek wherein they round up the various adults, or at least the ones who have managed to survive the rampaging Xenomorph. Wendy sends Smee and Slightly to bring in Morrow and Kirsch, Nibs to nab Dame Sylvia, and Curly to bring in the remaining soldiers, while she goes to find Joe and to capture Boy. In the lab, before Smee and Slightly make it to Kirsch, he and Morrow have a bit of a tussle which results in a stray bullet hitting the Plume Makkari's glass enclosure, something we can assume is a little fragile considering the glass containers the specimens were stored in on the Maginot. Seriously guys, glass? It's the future, be better. Anyway, this leads to the Plume Makkari escaping, and later on when Siberian and her team are in the lab, well, things go awry and Siberian is killed in horrifying fashion by the carnivorous plant creature. What's interesting about this particular alien is the way it seems to bend light in order to camouflage itself while it crawls around the walls and ceiling. While it's a bit of a long shot, this could be a callback to the Yautja species, aka the predators, who use a similar means of camouflage in their neat little bag of tricks. Perhaps the Plume Makkari is native to the Yautja homeworld, and its ability was somehow reverse engineered to create that technology. Take that with a grain of salt, of course, but it's a neat similarity at the very least. Anyway, eventually all the adults are gathered up and stashed away in what appears to be the cell that previously held Joe and Morrow. Here, Wendy chastises Boy and explains that he's not actually Peter Pan, because while Peter Pan was the boy who never grew up, Boy Kavalier has always been a mean, angry little man. Then the rest of the hybrids walk in and we see that the adult and Bebe Xenomorph are both along for the ride. This shows the series' two biggest themes, nature and technology, coming together as a unified whole. Curly asks what they're going to do now, and we get a great final line from Wendy when she says,
"Now we rule,"
followed by the dulcet tones of Pearl Jam's Animal. That song features the lyrics 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against 1, which is obviously related to the 5 hybrids versus the 1 boy genius they have tied up before them. There's also the lyrics I'd rather be with an animal, which in this context is a reference to Wendy's appreciation for the alien specimens, which she respects due to the fact that they're honest. And that's about it for Alien Earth's final moments. We've got a Teocelus and a D. Plume Makkari on the loose, a whole bunch of Weyland-Yutani soldiers incoming, 2 shockingly domesticated xenomorphs, and 5 hybrids who have taken over Neverland, becoming monsters themselves, as the title implies. It's a lot happening for an ending that many will no doubt be disappointed by, as it doesn't really resolve much of anything and winds up feeling more like a penultimate episode than a proper finale. But hey, that's just my opinion. What's yours? What did you think of the final episode, and for that matter, what did you think of the season as a whole? Let me know in the comments, and until next time guys, thank you for watching ScreenRant.